Hello, and today we're here with Rob Torres. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing, Flav. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, let's get this started up. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Lorain, Ohio, but more specifically South Lorain.
All right, cool. And what was it like growing up in that area?
It was not the most pleasant, I gotta say. There were times where we actually were scared because it's a very, not very privileged neighborhood. It's very ghetto-y, as you can say. But it just wasn't a nice neighborhood. Like sometimes there would be drive-bys. Like there would literally be drive-bys down our street, and they would be murders, like legit murders. There would be drugs being done down the street. Like it didn't feel safe at some times, but we had to roll with the punches. We had to get through it, and we had to overcome these obstacles. And I mean, I mean, looking back at it now, I am lucky to be where I am today because some of these things, I mean, they could have been by chance. I could have got hurt by chance, but we're still here. We're still standing. We're still rolling with the punches.
Right. So, speaking of rolling with the punches, what do you think has been the greatest struggle in your life?
I think the greatest struggle for me has got to be being a Hispanic American nowadays. Obviously, there's protests and stuff being done for just minorities in general, but I feel like there's still that stigma that Hispanic Americans are not supposed to be here, and that we're just like hopping the border and whatnot. When that's not the case, some of us have grown up here our whole lives. Speaking of which, Lorain is known as the international city. I mean, we got hundreds, probably thousands of people that are Puerto Ricans, such as me. So I really think that the greatest struggle I've grown up with is just being surrounded by this stigma, this underlying stigma that people put on me that I do not belong here and that I'm a problem. When in reality, I'm just trying to make people happy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's what I can come up with right now.
Absolutely. And what do you think is the best lesson that you've learned from a struggle that you've encountered in your life?
I think the best lesson I've learned is that you've got to embrace the journey. As Chris Webber said, I was watching the Hall of Fame induction go on, and he really said something that really stuck with me. It was called "Embrace the journey, don't run from it." And that's something that I've learned through all the struggles in my life. These bad things are going to happen no matter what you do, and it just depends on how you take it. If you're going to run from your problems and stuff like that, you're going to get nowhere. You're not going to evolve as a human. But if you make light of the issue and you can say, hey, I'm a better person because of this, I think that is the key to being the greatest person you can be in today's world.
Absolutely. And then what would you say is your biggest regret in life?
My biggest regret, there's a lot, but I think I can really say is that sometimes I just did not send it. I did not go through with what I wanted to do. There are some things that today I don't think I would be where I am today if I didn't do what I did. There are some things that I've taken a chance on where I've thrown a gamble, and they've made me a better person. Now, sometimes they don't always, sometimes I land on my face, sometimes they don't always go well, but in the end, I think what you've got to do, for me personally, is that you just got to go. You just got to do it, If you got a gut feeling that says you got to do something, you got to do it, all right? And my greatest regret in my 16 years of being alive is that I have not went after that. And, maybe I would be somewhere else today if that was the case, but really what I've been trying to do nowadays is just go after it and do what I can do, and just if something's offered, I'm not going to leave it on the table.
Absolutely. And then what are you involved in here at St. Ed's?
Here I do Model UN, Spanish National Honor Society. I'm also part of SALSA, student ambassadors, student ministry. I'm really all over the place, and right now we're trying to start our own club. I mean, we're going to see how that goes, but I try to be as inclusive as possible in various different subjects, from Model UN to Spanish National Honor Society. two ends of the spectrum that you don't think would clash together, but being in these different little environments, they really help me in my day-to-day life here at Ed's, doing these various clubs and activities. So
Absolutely. And then that's a great lineup. Speaking of a great lineup, what's your favorite football team?
my favorite football team, I'm kind of split between the Seahawks and the Browns. Like, I don't know, Russell Wilson. He's got my heart, something about him. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we got Chubbs. I mean, how can you not like Chubbs?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of split between the Seahawks and the Browns. But other than that, I mean, I got to go with Seahawks. I'm sorry, Russell Wilson's got my heart. Yeah, I'm more angled on them. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on today, Rob.
Of course, Blav. Anytime.